Vintage cottage small kitchen decor ideas. Let's explore how vintage cottage style can turn even the tiniest kitchen into a cozy, character-filled space. This style is all about charm, warmth, and practicality. It brings a nostalgic, timeless feel to your kitchen with rustic accents, natural materials, and delicate details. From color palettes to creative storage solutions, let's dive into 15 vintage-inspired ideas that will help transform any small kitchen into a lovely vintage cottage haven. Start with a color palette that captures the essence of the cottage vibe. Think soft pastels, gentle creams, and muted earth tones. Shades like dusty pink, light sage, creamy white, or faded blue bring a gentle warmth to your space. These colors keep the kitchen feeling open and airy, even if space is tight. A pastel backsplash or open shelving painted in these colors can immediately add that cottage touch without overwhelming the room. Replace some cabinetry with open shelving to create a vintage-inspired display area. This approach not only makes the kitchen feel more spacious, but also allows you to showcase beautiful vintage dishware, glass jars, and ceramic containers. Adding vintage plates, cups, and bowls to these shelves brings out the cottage charm. Storing commonly used items in plain view makes for easy access, adding both practicality and style. Lighting can make or break a space, and in a small kitchen, a vintage-inspired pendant light or chandelier can be a game-changer. Think of enamel or glass shades, or try a rustic wrought iron look. If you have an overhead light, replace it with a vintage fixture or a unique antique find. For a more traditional feel, you can add a wall sconce above the sink or in a dark corner to brighten the space and add to the ambience. Embrace vintage cottage charm by choosing cabinets and drawers with a rustic, distressed look. Opt for antique-style hardware such as brass or ceramic knobs that give even modern cabinets a vintage look. If you have wooden cabinets, consider a light sanding to create a distressed finish. The natural imperfections give your small kitchen a worn and cozy vibe that's typical of a cottage style. Wooden countertops, while beautiful, are a real hallmark of vintage kitchens. If you're up for it, consider butcher block counters. Not only are they functional, but they also add a lot of warmth. Pairing this with a farmhouse sink creates a stunning centerpiece. The apron front farmhouse sink has a deep, inviting shape that adds a rustic charm and is incredibly practical for a small kitchen. Accessories can completely transform a kitchen. Look for vintage canisters, mason jars, or ceramic pots to store essentials like flour, sugar, and spices. Vintage scales, milk bottles, and enamelware give personality to your kitchen while maintaining the functionality. These small touches speak volumes about the cottage lifestyle and make the kitchen feel like a cozy, lived-in space. Vintage style loves a good pattern, and one way to bring that into your kitchen is with patterned floor tiles. Whether it's a black and white checkered design, hexagon tiles, or a floral pattern, these tiles are both stylish and durable. They add a touch of old-world charm without taking up any counter or storage space. You'll find they're not only visually captivating but also practical for a small kitchen. For a subtle vintage touch, try a bedboard backsplash. This textured paneling was once a staple in country kitchens and gives a charming cottage-like feel. It's simple to install, relatively affordable, and can be painted to match your color scheme. It's also easy to maintain, making it a great choice for high-use areas in a small kitchen. Cottage style doesn't require perfectly matching furniture. If you're tight on space and looking to add a small dining or breakfast nook, look for a couple of mismatched chairs or a small table with a unique character. A small vintage wooden table with a few mismatched chairs painted in different colors adds that lived-in, comfortable vibe that defines vintage cottages. It's a wonderful way to make the most of a small eating area while adding charm and personality. Choose curtains with soft floral patterns or simple lace to add a vintage touch to your kitchen windows. Instead of heavy blinds or modern shades, these light, airy fabrics let in more natural light, making the space feel larger and brighter. Floral patterns or subtle stripes in vintage-inspired colors add a hint of nostalgia,